Hi there. Welcome to the next edition of Ask Burg. Today's question comes from Melanie. Thank you for sending in an email, Melanie. She actually asked several questions. I'm just going to do one for now. The question that she asked, can you go through some common mistakes with alignment in foundational poses such as Chaturanga, Warrior Series, Up Dog, and Down Dog? Chaturanga, I could do a whole class on just Chaturanga. Chaturanga is a pose that is similar to a push-up. So people commonly are trying to do a push-up. It's a more recognizable body feeling. In a push-up, a military push-up, your hands are wider than your shoulders, and typically your fingers point in and your elbows point out. This gives you a different alignment in your shoulder, elbow, and wrist. In Chaturanga, lowered four-limbed pose, you are coming from plank, coming forward with your shoulders. This brings your elbows almost to right angles when you bring your shoulder in line with your elbow. That's the first alignment mistake, is dropping your shoulder below your elbows. You're not trying to touch your nose to the floor. If you stand with your elbows at right angles, hugged into your ribs, palms facing the wall, you will see how far away your body really should be from the floor in Chaturanga. This is what makes it hard. You're hovering at forearm length from the floor. Dipping down below is a no-no. This is where you get tennis elbow, is by dipping down and coming up into the next pose, which is typically up dog. So if you are still working on your upper body strength for Chaturanga, for a full Chaturanga, touch your knees to the floor. It's more important to work on the foundation and alignment of your pose than to hurt yourself. There's no sense in hurting yourself for this pose. So let's talk about up dog. There aren't too many things that I would consider issues or problems with alignment. The big difference with up dog is that you are pushing away from the floor, lengthening your arms. You are working on trying to draw your hips between your hands, seeing how perpendicular, let's say, your torso can come to the floor. You're lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. Up dog is a back bend. Allow your hips to sink. Keep weight in your hips. If you engage your quadriceps and work on getting your thighs and knees off the floor, pressing into the tops of your feet or curling your toes under. Feel the difference. You'll feel a different feeling in your legs. Keep your hips dropped. Keep your chest lifted. Push the floor away from you. You want to feel length in all of your poses. Down dog. Press the palms of your hands into the floor, the entire palm. You're also pressing your knuckles into the floor. You're really working on getting dispersal in the weight around your palm and along your fingers. If you have your hands rotating outwards, this also affects your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders. You're looking for inward rotation, pressing into the pointer finger, the full pointer finger, full thumb, your two L's. Pressing your two L's into the floor to get an inward rotation of your hand, and then working on that outward rotation of your elbow. Keep length in your arms. Don't allow your torso and your shoulders to sink into your arms. Really feel like you're trying to pull your hips away from your hands. That helps with the length. It's all about length. In your warrior poses, the biggest misalignment issue has to do with your knee in relation to your ankle. In yoga, warriors don't lunge forward. Warrior 1 or 2, you are not leaning forward. Your front knee is either directly above your ankle or it's behind it towards your body. The difference is whether or not you want to go deeper and engage more muscles. So the deepest you will ever go into a warrior pose is knee directly over your ankle and your front knee at a right angle. The back leg press that back heel and the outside edge of the foot into the floor. You're going to feel a deeper stretch and engagement in your calf muscle. Then you're focusing on your feet, feeling solid connection with your feet, the heels of your feet, outside edges of your feet, balls of your feet, underneath your big toe and your pinky toe. Do not lift your big toe off the floor. When you lift your big toe up, it outwardly rotates your foot. That changes the alignment of your ankle, your shin, your knee, your hip, all the way up. As far as Warrior 1, where your hips and shoulders are more forward, versus Warrior 2, where your hips and shoulders open up more, that comes with time. First of all, with Warrior 1, personally, it actually hurts my back knee if I try to align my hips too much with the front of my mat. I'm very careful when it comes to my knees. If in class you're playing with your warrior pose and you bring that back heel up to point your knee and your toes towards the front of the mat, that's fine. That technically is a different pose, but if that feels better on your knee and your leg, go for it. Warrior 2, that back foot becomes parallel to the back of the mat because you're outwardly rotating that back leg a little bit more. Your knee and your toes are now pointing at a right angle from your body. Think about your foundation from whatever is on the ground, your hands, your feet, and think about your alignment from the foundation up. When I'm looking at you guys in class, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking from your feet or your hands, the alignment of the next joint up, elbow or knee, and then the next joint up, your hip or your shoulder, and then your spine, the length of your spine. Everything else comes in time. If you have tight hips and shoulders, if you're working on strengthening your muscles, that will have an impact on your pose. As you strengthen, as you open up, you will readjust and feel the difference in your pose when that happens. Well, that's it for Melanie's first question. I will create videos for her next questions. If you have any, please send me an email, burg@yogahappiness.us. I will respond in a video. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Hope to see you in class.